Welcome back to another Hogwarts Legacy video. I'm Phantom Phoenix, and today we're breaking down the combat from the Hogwarts Legacy Showcase. I think this was what I was most anticipated on seeing with this game, to see how the combat was going to work, because it's a Harry Potter game. You're going to be casting spells. How is that going to work? Is it going to feel good? Is it going to flow very well? How are we going to have a bunch of access to a bunch of different spells simultaneously like a real wizard would? So we'll break this down. If you missed any of my previous videos, like my breakdown of their Hogwarts tour or the character creator, don't forget to hit the card in this video, or you can check out my channel as well. Before we jump in, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell icon so you don't miss any more Hogwarts Legacy updates. I'll be covering this game all the way through launch, and I will be most likely live streaming this on my Twitch. Links below. Let's jump in.
But this is where Crossed Wands, which is the secret, not so secret dueling club is that the students have put together. Professors definitely know about it, but they think they're being clever. And it's run by Luke and Brattleby here,
who's in a younger year. But we kind of like that that he's running things.
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to
So really the only load screens I see is when it sometimes loads into a dialogue
That would be wonderful.
cutscene here.
cast all your spells before the dummy lands. If you need to stop practicing before you finish your
But not while
let me know.
walking.
it's a really good opportunity to now.
And obviously this
do
load
combat,
screen
because really
to
in
get
the game,
into
this is gonna
this
be,
combat.
the first time where you yourself get to learn about combat and combos in a big way and in a new way. For me personally, this was where the game really starts to open up to the possibilities.
Yeah. So we've set up a training dummy, and this is kind of an activity where you're supposed to execute according to kind of the iconography on the top. Now, what we see on the top is the Accio spell, followed by what we just kind of lovingly refer to as basic shot.
Okay.
There's certain spells that the wizards kind of use, just kind of fling. Andrew's using one
Basic
now.
attacks. Got it.
And you trigger that by tapping R2 on your controller. So you can see in the corner R2. So if you tap R2, that throws out a basic shot. But that R2 is also
Okay.
your gateway to all of the spells that you might slot. So if you hold R2 instead, you can see.
Right off the bat, I really hope that we can change our control setup, because having to tap the trigger to shoot a basic attack, but then hold that same trigger to access our spell wheel, is going to lead for a lot of bad situations in combat, in my opinion. If I will be able to keybind my basic attack to something different, that would be a lot better. We probably won't know that until the game releases, before we see that option menus, but that's okay. Let's jump in.
How the diamond expands, and if we let go, you see how it contracts?
Yeah.
And so if you hold it again, it expands. And so when it expands, then all the spells that you slotted while you're holding that button can now be tapped with your face buttons.
Awesome.
And not only that, but over the course of the game, you can gain additional spell diamonds, up to 4 additional ones. So that
Lumos.
you can slot up to 16 spells, pretty much instantly. And then that helped us fulfill the
16 spells that you can slot to have access to. So what that means is, so you have this diamond of 4. That means you'll have four total diamonds of 4 spells for 16 total spells that it sounds like you can switch between on the fly and then combo into each other. That is going to be complicated, but this combat does seem easy to learn, very difficult to master these spell combos. But let's check out some more.
fantasy of in combat, I need to be able to access things very rapidly.
Yeah.
And so you learn over the course of these events, how to juggle not just the spell casting, but also it reinforces an understanding of another feature of the wheel, which is their cooldowns. So as you're casting spells, just to make sure that you're not just kind of like repeatedly using one thing over and over and over again, you can see cooldowns on the spell.
So let's check out that cooldown. Let's watch the cooldown of Accio down here in the bottom corner.
Not just the spell casting, but also it reinforces.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 basic shots, and it looked like it was about halfway done. That's not too bad. And now it's back by the time he gets up.
On the wheel. And then as you progress through the game, there are different things that can affect things like
Alright, same with the Levioso spell.
that allow you to kind of like juggle and adjust and update those things.
4 basic attacks, and it's about halfway cooled
It will
off.
switch between your other diamonds if you've unlocked them, and that's how you access all this.
Whoa, this combat's gonna be fun.
So you're about to get some action over here.
Yeah. So this is a great way to kind of learn how to pull things together.
So you use
pull those
Levioso.
combos
I wonder what this
together.
red spell down in the bottom is.
Accio, tap, tap, tap. Awesome.
Oh man, that is...
And that's just against the dummy, but I mean,
I'd say that's enough practice.
So I'm gonna loop that back real quick.
together.
So looks like you're about to get some action over here.
So... I wonder... Can we infinitely combo this? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4... Okay, so... The Levioso spell wasn't quite cooled down yet by the time he finished that combo. But if there's like cooldown reduction in our talents and our skills, can we just infinitely juggle someone in this game? Or can we hit them with like that red spell at the end? It looks like it's probably a damage dealer or a laceration kind of spell. So let's jump back in.
Now let's talk about some more features of the combat system.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of crossed wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
We're on a PS5 dev kit here, so we're going to be able to kind of pause the action and talk about what you're seeing on the screen, because there's about to be a lot going on.
Okay.
Oh, so we can train with a dueling
You can
partner.
select if you want to fight with somebody else, some of your
of the other
classmates.
students.
But in this case, we're not. We want that action.
So, that is something to mention. Is in this game you will be able to have companions with you, that will travel with you through the story and through the open world, and it looks like they'll be able to fight battles with you. So I think that'll be really cool. It sounds like you could probably combo with your companion, so if they levitate someone, you can Accio them towards you, and then they can levitate them again. So maybe there's a way to control your companion to like, hey, use this spell on this enemy if there's going to have that amount of options when it comes to companion combat, or if you could maybe set up tendencies on excuse me, set up your companion tendencies to use these spells over these spells. That'll be really interesting to see in the future, but let's keep watching.
To feel a little more frantic towards you to really get you that sense of combat.
So apparently you've got quite the reputation because they've got you up against people.
3, off the jump.
So I can explain this just because I know people are going to go into it, but we can probably just kind of jump in.
Alright, so what that says, let's see, break through violet shields with force spells, like the summoning charm Accio. To manually target an enemy, you click in R3 to lock on and R to change targets. Okay, so it does seem to be a hard lock-on mechanic. That is really good. I like that. You're going to want to be able to target specific targets instead of like the soft Free Flow Lock On in Arkham or Gotham Knights, where it's just you point in a direction and you target. This way is I can run around and target a specific enemy and then rotate my targets that way. And it looks like the colors of your spells are going to end up mattering to break specific shields. So your violet shields will be your violet spells, your red shields, your red spells, yellow shields, yellow spells, blue shields, blue spells, I would assume.
You're not the only one that has Protego and the ability to deflect. The enemies do too. And we actually play with that when it comes to the spell casting.
Okay.
So you notice that there are different colored.
So first things I just saw there is a counter option. So we do have the Protego spell, that deflect magic spell. So we'll jump back in.
You're not the only one that has Protego and the ability to.
So watch his head.
And
right
we
here.
play with that when it comes to the spell casting.
Boom.
So you notice that there are
Parry.
different colored kind of shields around the different characters, and you also notice that your spells have different colors.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Is that a counter? Okay, so you see here, you hit and you deflect it off, and it just goes off and bounces off the wall.
Spell casting. So you notice that there are different
Okay.
kind of shields
Break
around different
his,
characters.
grab
And you also
him,
notice that
and then right there, you reflect that straight back to break his own Protego shield. That is really cool. So you have a deflect, and then you also have like a parry counter attack.
your spells have different colors on them. So to help players understand kind of like the function of their spells, we're trying to put them into brackets. So there are damage spells, there are force spells, there are, I'm forgetting the other one.
Wow.
And so those things for the player, they wind up also being a color indicator.
So I'll rewind it back to so we can hear what he's saying. But they didn't tell us what this meter is down here at the bottom, but you can see it's a combo meter, and you can see this diamond is starting to glow blue. And so I know a little bit about this. You're a transfer into Hogwarts at year 5. There's a mystery going on. I'm assuming you're involved, and you have some form of special magic power, makes you better than all the other wizards and witches. I think this may be like an ultimate ability bar, or in Assassin's Creed you had like your adrenaline bar. Gotham Knights you had like a momentum meter where the better you do, you build up this resource, and then you can spend it on some form of ability. So I wonder if that's my guess, is that this is going to be a unique ability to your character, that you'll be able to build up a resource to then use.
For which actual spell to use to break the different shields that enemies. That way it rewards kind of like that close attention that you're paying on things.
We've got this paused here now, and you can kind of see all the elements on the screen, the halo around the avatar's head, each of the different shields, to kind of give us a breakdown of what's going on.
Give us a breakdown of different things that you're saying.
To see all the elements on the screen, the halo around the avatar's head, each of the different shields, to kind of give us a breakdown of what's going on.
Give us a breakdown of different things that you're saying. So you notice at the top that we're kind of like calling out which enemy you currently have targeted and their level and health, and so as you target different characters, you'll be able to get that breakdown. The halo over your head. Whenever an enemy is about to an attack, it's almost like you have a little bit of a sixth sense for those things that are coming. If you see the halo, it means there's an incoming attack, and if you tap the triangle button by default, then that you'll be able to deflect that attack that comes in and off with Protego.
And I love that deflect where it goes off and like hits things up and kind of breaks things off walls too.
But also, if you hold the button, then it doesn't just deflect. It also deflects and turns around with a counter attack stupefy that actually stuns.
Okay, so stupefy is a counter attack.
Combos and stuff. So if you're focused on a character,
interesting.
And you're doing your thing, and someone else attacks you, you can actually turn that attack into a direct attack on the person that you're comboing.
Back into gameplay here, Andrew's.
Oh, that's cool. So, he's targeting he's targeting this person here, and if one of them were to attack, he can counter their attack and launch it into your current targeted enemy. That's really cool. And just a little bit ago, you saw him grab a barrel from the side and throw it at the enemy, which I think is really cool with some environmental combat.
Pretty handily finish these other students off here. Win this
Look how
duel.
fast it is.
Again, he grabbed a box and launched it at the enemy.
Yeah, we really felt like in the movies, there's almost like
Really cool.
it's kind of like there's this element of kind of like fencing from a very great
Yeah,
distance,
that's a good call.
and there are a lot of things that we had to do with our controls and combat system in order to kind of capitalize on that idea. That's pretty unique to the Wizarding World.
Understandable.
Well, perhaps you should try that next time. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll
I think-
really have it in for you.
I think
You'd better
that
keep practicing if you
combat
want a chance of
is going to
winning,
be really fun.
or at
It
least
looks
surprising
really
in the
good.
next round.
I'm
I'll let you know
impressed.
when we're ready. Hope to see you then.
I was worried that the
The next round
combat
is for all
wouldn't
the
be
gods, so
great,
to
but
speak.
it looks great in my opinion.
And that is more or less going to wrap it up for us for now. For what we wanted to show you,
No.
character
Show us
creator, a
more.
tour of Hogwarts, and just that little taste of combat. But we didn't want to leave you without maybe a little taste of something that we may show in the future, may show next time. So leaving the castle, going out here.
Here's the bridge they blow up at the end of the books.
More owls confirmed.
Owl mail. There's the owlry again. Yes, all of the owls.
This game looks
But
beautiful.
yeah, just heading out here again to show you like from Hogwarts to the world beyond Hogwarts. And
This could be
this is
game
not
of the year,
somewhere
a
where
game
we're
of the
going
year
today,
contender next
but,
year when
we
it comes
will
out.
definitely be taking you in the future.
There's the lake. The castle is
There's the scale
ginormous.
of the castle back there. All right, so we're gonna wrap things up here, but
Ah,
I hope you guys
cannot wait for this game.
But I think James, you may have a few other questions here at the end of things. So
Yeah.
while we're done with what we're showing on the gameplay side,
all right, let's go through
I
some of
know
these
there's a few things
questions.
that you want to pick Alan and Boston's brains about.
I would love that because there's a lot. All right, so some of these questions we did pull from the community secretly, but I did pull from the community. So
And also from, going through this, I
Based
feel like
off of- yeah.
you've come up with some things you want to talk a little more about. I'm sure.
elaborate on because we went through character customization, Hogwarts itself, and even combat. So this would be like for the both of you guys. Will we be able to go back and change our character creation if we don't like it?
So not everything, but there are certain things with hairstyle, hair color, so kind of like core shapes,
Okay.
like with the body and face, not after the fact.
Okay, typical
there are lots of
RPG.
things. There's kind of like a barber shop in Hogsmeade that you can go to, and
Of course, there's
inside
a
of
wizard
there,
barber,
yeah,
right?
So you can't change your face structure, skin tone, or anything,
Oh my
but
God,
haircuts,
that would be so cool.
the
glasses,
game features
gear.
a lot of appearance customization in it, so there's a ton of options there. But that's in terms of like your character and stuff that you have the character creator. It's like a smaller set of what you saw there.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh my God. Awesome.
makes
Next question.
sense.
What kind of leisurely activity can we do? Can we study with our free time? What will we be doing just hanging out in Hogwarts?
Because as you progress through the game, there's a bunch of different missions that open up. Most of them are driven by different characters' personalities.
Okay.
Some of them want help getting up to hijinks, or
This
some of them
wand
want to
is
just explore secrets in the castle
hard
because
not
there
to
are new secrets in our
look
castle
at.
to
It's
explore.
floating.
And so I think there's a bunch of things to do. And when it comes to class, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just kind of like the mainline stuff. There are kind of like extracurricular assignments, some of which are optional, some of which are kind of like blockers for main mission. Kind of like you can't go on this mission
Right.
until you have the spell. And then the spell is open, you
Got
know,
it.
the assignment and how you complete it
Yeah,
with
yeah.
with your professor. So there are opportunities to to study, so to speak, like with
Right.
that.
Right.
But they do all take the form of our mission structure. Yeah.
That is actually really cool. You have to unlock a certain spell to go do this
Let's
side
get
quest.
into some combat right quick. Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal?
Spells have different levels, or are they all equal? I'm trying to think of how to describe that. So each spell has kind of like its own core identity and what it does in the game, with regards to both kind of like puzzling, world exploration, and enemy combat and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then it's through the talent system,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
When you go into that, it's kind of like each of those spells has ways to kind of like advance and grow and change.
Okay.
And as you spend talents, in some cases, it even changes like the way you approach the battlefield and things like that. So I'd say that's no more true than with like dark arts, for example.
Right.
And as you go down that line and you kind of play around with those talents, it really does start to kind of like affect even how you approach combat and how you think about the battlefield.
I won't be touching the dark art stuff, but
Oh, come on. That's what I'm most excited for. The Killing Curse. I will be using it as soon as possible.
I want to close off with this question, and this is for everybody, and we'll start with Boston. With this game that you guys have been working on for however long, and the excitement you guys have, what one aspect of Hogwarts Legacy that you are excited for the fans to experience? Boston.
I think I'm just excited for the fans to play through the world, specifically the castle, and maybe go read those books again. I hope that either whether you're already a fan and love this game, or this is your first introduction into the world, I hope you just point at each other in the best way possible. And I'm just excited for fans to get to finally go to Hogwarts and feel like they can own it, live there. I've lived there for 5 years. It's a great place to live. Official 5th year.
It's
So I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up. I think the combat looks really, really, really good. I'm excited to see more of how in-depth this combat can get. So don't forget, I will be covering this game as we get closer to launch, and then through launch I'll be streaming it over live on my Twitch. The link is down in the description below. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Drop a comment, tell me what you think. A comment, tell me what you think about the combat system in this game. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.